here's how to play Tapir's song Swallow. There are 2 guitars in it, so this is only going to be approximation, but there are 3 main ideas that you need to learn. First one is an F major 7 chord with no third, string 6 fret 1, string 5 fret 3 and string 4 fret 2. The absence of the third allows one of the other instruments or the voice to sing that note, which is a lovely effect. Sharing the notes of a chord out between the band produces a whole host of possibilities. The shape is moved across next to a B flat, it's the same shape, B flat major 7, no third. The right hand is playing thumb, finger, finger, mostly for me. Thumb, index, middle, 6, 5, 4. Let me move my hand so you can see it. On the B flat major 7 chord, it's the same idea, except this time I'm playing thumb plays 5 and the fingers play 4, 3. 5, 4, 3. Next shape is an F sharp 5, which is string 6 fret 2, string 4 fret 4, and string 5 fret 4 as well. Notice I'm referring to these as if I don't have a capo on. I've set the capo at 2, as do the band. Next chord is C major 7, again with no third, and it's the same as the first and second shapes, except here now. So we're on string 5 fret 3, string 4 fret 5 and string 3 fret 4. And the right hand again is playing thumb, finger, finger, going 5, 4, 3. This is close to the original. What I do is I play the C major 7 first time, 5, 4, 3. Second time I lift off the middle finger to produce a C5, but it still sounds like a C major 7 in your head, because that note stays on. And I think the trumpets are playing ba, 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 ba. And a side note, the ha 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 on the trumpets and elsewhere are really effective because it throws in an ambiguity. So beat 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 is offset by the idea that the accent on 3. So you have this sort of war going on. Syncopation is in its essence, really. So all musicians need to want to know where 1 is, so you can know where you're going. At the very end of the song, it ends as if that's beat 1, which is another lovely effect. One more thing, on the first chord, the F major 7, the rising, ascending arpeggio in pitches is balanced out by a descending arpeggio on the other guitar. There's a fair bit of that falling down, so you have something like contrary motion in music is a brilliant thing, especially if something else isn't moving, so you have all 3 aspects. Which brings me back to the trumpet. I say trumpet, I don't know whether it's a little cornet or I don't know what it is, or pocket trumpet, something like that, I don't know. And that's doing the ha 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 ha, so there you have the constant thing going against the arpeggios in the guitars, which is great. So loads of things going on, and it's counterbalanced by a nice smooth continuous part of the texture. And Ronnie keeps the bass line really simple. It's really important. Nice long notes, nice and full, underpinning the whole thing. Sounds very strange without it. And I recommend that when you play the song, when you've learned the guitar parts, listen back to the song, play along, and notice when the other instruments, the bass and the others, come in and when they drop out, because those changes of texture are really important in the song. One of the reasons it sounds so good. The vocal is absolutely brilliant, and of course the words, the lyrics and the vocal ride over the top. It's really great. So that's a story for another time. I can't sing it yet, I haven't learnt it, and I won't try to sing like the original singer. I only know Ronnie's name. I will learn the names of the rest of the band eventually. So F major 7, B flat major 7, F sharp. One more thing to tell you about that, it's notice that going from the F to the B is a 5-1 cadence, and you get it in millions of songs. On a guitar, going from the adjacent fret, moving across from string to string on 6 and 5 and 4 as well, and 2 and 1, but particularly in the bass here, is a very comfortable thing to play. It's very strong. You can do it like a carousel or a roundabout. You can jump off it at any stage. If you work your way up the neck, playing these cadences, these 5/1s, you can actually stop anywhere you like. So for example, the band could have played F, B flat, then up 1 and across again, and that would be more usual, but they don't. We have this, so we've gone up and across, sort of like in the move of a night. So we've gone in a leap of an augmented fourth, which this is a great interval. The first one is a fourth, and fourths generally sound bare or neutral and don't really have a lot of tension in them. Depends on the context. The next notes from note 2 to note 3 in the bass is a major third, which is a very solid interval. It's outlining a major triad. But we move away, so from there we go from the F sharp to the C, which is a augmented fourth or diminished fifth or tritone. I'd call it an augmented fourth in the context of the piece here, but it doesn't matter, I don't think, not really. It's the effect of that tritone there, 3 whole tones or 6 semitones, that is often felt, you feel that on its own, sounds very dissonant, very sinister, spooky. Lots of dark, strange ideas can go with that interval. If you don't know what an interval it is, it's just a pitch difference in pitch between 2 notes, 2 note names. And the diminished fifth can sound very listless and neutral depending on the context and in other words, what notes are around it in the chordal texture, or the harmonic texture. So just thought I'd mention that. But that wonderful leap is just brilliant. And on top of all that, the chord that we end on is the key chord. It's the tonic, because we're in C major, and that's a C then. So it's great that we don't have the first chord being chord 1. We have to wait for it. So we have all this suspense. You know, it's as much suspense as you get in Beethoven's pieces, probably more. And the fact that the chord is played 4 bars worth, we're counting in threes, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 4 whole bars also helps establish the fact that it's the key chord, because it's more important. It's lasting for longer and it stays with our ears. So you could have played, you know, just any old thing then, and you would know that it sounds like the ear is being told, this is the main chord, this is the home chord. Because that's another thing, like finding 1, knowing what the home chord is something you all love. In Alan Holdsworth's pieces, it's very hard to know really, because what key you're in, because the chord changes are so strange and so rapid. There's not every bar or anything. That's a different situation altogether. Anyway, back to the song. So that's idea 1. Second idea, the structure of the song so far is played 1 and 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. It's 4 bars of 3, and then that itself, that idea, is played 4 times. That's the intro. The whole 4 is repeated again as the underpinning, the backdrop for the verse, and then we come to the chorus, which has got the next idea. That there is an F major chord with an A bass, first inversion F chord. The added B here again, it's a tritone. There it is again. And the nature of the guitar when you're doing arpeggios tends to soften the effect of that dissonant clash of the minor second there, that semitone away. So there's a whole load of crunching dissonances in this version of of an F chord. The use of a B with an F chord, F major 7 with that B there, you can hear that it's very much related to flamenco and Arabic sound. Just thought I'd mention that. How to play this: string 6 fret 5, 3rd finger, thumb is playing 6, string 4 fret 3, 1st finger, C on string 3 fret 5 and an open 2nd string B, and the pattern, if I just move a hand so you can see, 6, 4, 3, 2, and then back the way we came. When I get to the last note, remember I'm combining 2 guitar ideas here, but this is essentially what goes on. We use an open D string, so I take all the fingers off while I'm changing to the next chord, which is a G7. I'll show you in a moment. Momentarily, we've just got the D there, which is part of the next chord. It's in the G7 chord. String 6 fret 3, 1st finger. String 4 fret 3, 2nd finger. This is the way I play it. It's not precise, you know, it's not exactly right, but it certainly sounds just about right. And string 3 fret 4, and we've got open string 2. Sometimes I can't decide, you see, I tend to play 6, 4, 3, 6, 4, lift the little finger off, because I can't actually remember right now. I haven't learnt the thing very well yet, I haven't played it enough. I think it's BB. Next, F, but it's in the bass, it's an F6. We've got F and A, which is part of an F major triad, F A, F A, C. There's no C here. F, A, and we've got a D. So you can either think of it as an F major 6, so it's basically an F, and the bass note keeps going, so there is a strong argument for naming chords by just using the bass note. It isn't always done. This one, the notes are actually part of a D minor chord. That's exactly what it is, DFA, DFA. So it's up to you how you hear that, whether you hear it as a major chord with an added 6th on it, or whether you feel that it's more a darker minor, so D minor with an F in the bass, which is a 1st inversion minor chord. 4 times. And back to the C major 7. The link to what I call the, well, sort of middle 8, because you've got intro, verse, chorus, 4 whole bars of that F6 or D minor chord. The fact that it's played 4 times, again, it's a very important device in the song, or a feature, not a device. Just in the same way that the C major 7 was played 4 times, and you really got that sense of, yeah, I know where I am now, this is where we're going to move from. When this comes, it's like an announcement that something new's coming. It's like this, all the orchestration, arrangement from previously has gone. It's all sort of washed away by this, and it continues for the kind of middle 8, or the strange and darker section, and that's that. Then onto the final idea. This is that F major with the B again, with the sharpened 4th, and the pattern is 5, 4. I'll just move my thumb up again. 5, 4, 2 and 3 together. 5, 4. Take off the 3rd finger to expose an open third string G. I mean, that's an F add 9, but you might not hear it that way. I don't. I hear it as, I partly hear that, but mainly I'm thinking this is a C major, or sorry, an F. Sorry, it's an F. It's a C major shape. Next chord after the F is an E minor 7, and hope you can see the shape. I didn't tell you the last one, did I? So go back to that. Fret 8. Fret 8 on string 5, second finger. Fret 7 on string 4. Fret 9 on string 3, third finger. There's no little finger used on this. You hear the strong movement, dun dun da da dun, combined with the constancy. So we've got this idea again. We've got a very interesting, very active movement, melody, dun 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 da do dun, combined with nice and solid and still. On to the next chord. String 5 fret 7, E minor 7 this is. String 4 fret 5. String 3 fret 7. The fingering is little finger on string 3. First finger on string 4. Third finger on string 5. And the right hand plays 5, 4, 3 and 2 together, 5 and 4 again, 4 again, and then an open string in the same idea as back to it again. I'll just rewind slightly. One of them, which is an important feature of the song, by the way. How many bars? I'm treating 3 beats as a bar. I feel it as 6/8 really, but 3s are easier to count out. Call all them and it's easier to count. So 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. Same shape. Move back to here. In other words, that is D minor 7, but with an open B. So we get that lovely clash between the B and the C. String 4 fret 3, first finger. String 5 fret 5, third finger. String 3 fret 5, little finger, fourth finger. Pattern same. Open again. Let me go up to here. Next chord. Stay where you are with the D minor 7, but now move the third finger across onto string 6 fret 5. And the finger pattern is the same except with the thumb on 6 now. 2 fingers together. And I'm doing the same thing at the end of the pattern. I'm lifting all my fingers off. Then a G7. String 6 fret 3. String 4 fret 3, second finger. String 3 fret 4. And we need, which is B, and we need an open B as well. For anyone with perfect pitch, you're out of luck. I wrote the whole thing in C, by the way. Sorry, in D, and I was actually transcribing it, which confused me no end. I think it's can't remember right now, but just go back and listen. Now we've got the very first chord of the song, but we add in the G. So it's, you call it F major 9, I guess. It does sound like it to me. But by the time you get to naming chords past the 7th, 9th, they take on a sort of an ambiguity, because you can name them in several ways. So you've got to just name it how you hear it, or not name it at all. Which brings me on to another point. The fact that we're using the same shape a lot is a bit of an indication that that the writer might have experimented with this shape. I experiment with all chord shapes. So that could have been a creative force for the way the song developed. And it also unifies, because that happens so much. It's great, it's the glue in the song. Not just, I'm not talking about the lyrics, they as I say, it's a completely different subject, but they kind of weave around and swim above like a dolphin, in and out, and more of a mermaid than a dolphin, or a sea turtle, krill padda. This chord here, we play the same idea as the previous rundown pattern, so it's thumb plays 6, index plays 5, middle and ring play 4 and 3, 6 and 5 again, and off comes the finger for string 4. So you have dun do dun do do dun do 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 dun, along with. And finally, at the end of this phrase, I haven't talked about phrases. The way I play this is that 8? I think it is, yes. String 6 fret 8, this is an F, an A, which is string 5 fret 7. We have the C major 7, we've got an open B and an open G. And we're going to use the D string, the open 4th string as well. So the whole chord is a C major 9. Or if you like, which I do, a C major add 9, 7, C major 7 add 9. And the pattern 6-5. This is the way I'm doing it at the moment. It might change. 6 and 5 with the thumb, 3 and 2 with the middle and ring fingers, and then 6, 5 again, open 4 with an index finger. Now, can I do it with the thumb and 2 fingers? I think the band do. Or, using all 3 fingers and keeping the thumb fixed, you could do thumb, index, and then middle and ring. But then you have to bring the middle finger over, so I'll probably say ignore that. One thing I didn't mention, because of it being 2 guitars, is that the vocal... the guy who does the vocals, and as I say, sorry for not knowing the names, I will know next time. After he's played, he doesn't play, he sticks to playing the C major part of the C major 7. So I think that's what he does. But because the bass line is way below, we don't get a second inversion sound. But I'm avoiding it because it's just me on a guitar and a thumb and playing the bass. So I play, not. But I think if you listen out for it, I think it is there. Right, so where were we? Up to then. It's a G7, so I was having to remember what it was. String 6 fret 3, string 5 fret 2, string 4 fret 3. Right hand is back to the very first pattern from the start of the song. This could be wrong, but what I do is, for the next chord, I just flatten my first finger. I'll leave the second finger where it is, and the first finger as well. I take the third finger off and I flatten my first finger so that it's playing string 4 fret 2. So it's a 2-string barre. So I play 6-5-4, 6-5-4. But on the second half I play. So in comes that string 4 fret 2. Then you'll see guitar 2, you'll see a slide. I can't hear very well what happens here, but to me it sounds right to do, which is a B flat. It's string 6 fret 6 and string 5 fret 5. It's a 2-finger chord with an open D, open 4 string. So you've got 2 Ds in there. now we're back to another chord, the previous chord that we've learned. Chord shape from the beginning, first chord, but it's the third idea with that second finger coming on and off. 6, 5, 4 and 3, 5, off with the finger, 4. 6, 5, 4 and 3, 6, 5, 4, but take the finger off. And I think that runs all the way through to the end, or it could just be, because I can't remember right now. That's the essence of the song. Have I missed out anything? There's a lot of things that you could say. Once the lyrics and vocals come in, then you could talk about the relationship between the vocals and the lyrics, and whether they paint some of the words, because I think they do. There's quite a bit of, like, as I was saying earlier, there's a sort of a wave-like motion, which does sound, I always associate that kind of melodic shape with birds. I've got a song called Fly Like a Bird, and there's very much that kind of thing going on in it. And another song, I write about birds and space and forests a lot, you know, rivers. Another song I've got, what is it now? A sycamore seed, and in that you've got an awful lot of swirly melodies that rise and fall on purpose. It can work really well. Sometimes it is artless and obvious and boring, and other times it's too clever. And this is one of the, perhaps the last thing I'll tell you about, you know, my other thought on this brilliant song. It's simple in some ways, and it's just not clever. There's a whole load of art-filled inspirational movement and chord choices, whole load of colours, and it doesn't come across as it's a song. The song is a complete world. This is why it's sort of like an invisible Zorb ball. You walk into the song, and then you're in this world, and the song is carrying all these messages. I don't know what they are, but it's carrying this world, and you don't get the impression that the band are saying, aren't we clever, you know, listen how, you know, it's great. To me, it's an egoless band that produced something with using fantastic personal energy and force. So yeah, I hope that helps you to learn the piece. So if you have learned it, then spread it far and wide, and if you can only strum the chords, still sounds good. And that's perhaps the last thing I should say. When you're learning it, it's very helpful and very useful, I mean, to practice changing the chords. Don't you think about your right hand at all. And the other side of it, see if you can figure out what the right hand should be doing. And if you're not used to playing thumb, index, middle, do hundreds of those. And the same goes for the next pattern. As soon as you encounter a new pattern, stop if you're not sure, if it feels wrong in your fingers, and just play it over and over on the right until you're really sure. Otherwise, you end up struggling with the piece. And some people say to me, have asked me many times, what's the hardest piece you can play? And my answer is always rather evasive and defensive, which is, well, there wouldn't be any point in playing it to you, because all you'd get would be the performance of somebody who can't quite make the piece sound right. Years ago, I played a piece to somebody, and I thought they'd be impressed. And like you see, when you got motivation like that, what do you expect? And the first thing that he said was, that's a very hard piece, isn't it? Meaning, that's a very hard piece for you, isn't it? I wasn't hearing music. I was watching John trying to get his hands in the right place. So, yeah, so all hail the band. So do look up Tapir if you haven't already. They've got some great songs, and each one of them is an experience of its own. Right, I've had enough of talking to myself, and I don't like staring at myself in the camera, so I'm going now. See ya.